Good morning to every one of you. In this video, we are going to discuss about network topology. Network topology can be classified into two categories. One is logical topology, another one is physical topology. First of all, this topology, the term represents it's an arrangement of networking devices in such a way, right, based on the needs of need of an organization, right? So how we are going to arrange your networking devices through which are like end devices like routers, end devices like computers, right, through wires, right? We are arranging in such a way to satisfy the need of an organization to make other all the computers connected, right? So there is a logical connection, there is a physical connection, right? That's why it is classified into logical topology and physical topology. Logical topology is nothing but we are it's a high level idea for a start for advanced strategy. We are connecting the networks, connecting the PCs through virtually, right? So through the virtual of through configurations and through connecting routers, right? We are connecting, we are forming the network in such a way that there are systems, there are connected PCs through virtually, right? This is purely through virtual connections, right? It's not physical connection, whereas in this case it is physically connected through wires, right? Physically connected, physically arranged, right? So that is the key ideology, the difference between logical topology and physical topology, right? Logical topology is it's a virtual connection, right? It's not physically connected. Here it is, whereas in case of physical topology, it is wire, right? Purely connected through wires, right? All the nodes are connected through wires, right? It's a physical topology, right? So we'll discuss physical topology majorly here, right? Physical topology. If you take the physical topology of physical topology, right? There are five major topologies that exist: bus topology, ring, star, mesh, hybrid, right? So bus topology, ring topology, star, mesh, and hybrid, right? So there is no there is no saying that any of these are highly successful, any of these are not it's absolute, we cannot able to use. There are a lot of advantages, disadvantages. We'll see one by one, and then finally we classify how each is having its own advantage and disadvantage, right? First one, bus topology. If you take a representation of bus topology will be you have a common wire and PCs are connected to it. You have a common wire and PCs are connected to it. Let's assume all these squares are PCs, right? So data are transmitted over a single common wire, right? This wire may be of coaxial, or else this bus topology majorly will be used in local area networks, right? Local area networks, which is called LAN, and this may be coaxial cable or else twisted pair cable, right? Anything it may be used, right? Purely depends on the need. Either it is coaxial or else twisted pair. All the devices are connected, right? So this bus topology majorly used for connecting LAN, right? LAN networks, and this is purely used for low number of CN systems connected, right? So why? Because so this low number of systems, there should be lesser number of smaller size of network can be configured through bus topology. The reason is because only one single wire that connects all the systems, right? Let's take there are 10 number of systems available, and if one particular system wants to initiate a data transfer from this system to this system, then this is the common medium that is going to be used, right? And there are high possibility cases where collisions are possible in case of this bus topology. The reason is, for example, I have some data to be transmitted from this system to this system. and at the same time this system wants to transfer some data to this system, right? Here the medium what we are going to use is a common medium, and the reason, and that is why there is a possibility for collision to occur, right? So this for example, these two systems initiate transmission at the same time and medium is going to be same, and there will be possibility for collision to occur, right? So that is why the performance of bus topology will reduce if you increase more number of systems into the network, right? So the performance of bus topology purely directly proportional to number of systems, right? We can say like this. So the performance of the bus topology will be depends on the number of systems in the network. If more number of systems are connected, then performance degrades, right? Because collision possibility is very high in case of bus topology. You can say the advantages. If you take advantages of this, here the configuration is very easy, right? So we can easily configure, because if you have your LAN connection, immediately you can able to add. So scalability, in terms of scalability, it is very good to add and remove a node from the network, right? Whereas for example, if here it is a tolerant network, right? If one of the PC goes down, then still the rest of the networks are active, right? So there is no problem with it's a fault tolerant network, right? It's a easily fault tolerant network, right? So, and if you take it is less expensive also, right? Less expensive network, because there is no much cost that is consumed except this medium of the wire, right? And if you take disadvantages of this, if you take the same point, we can represent here. Disadvantage is purely all the N systems depends on the single medium, right? And that is why it is a disadvantage also, right? So here there is a high possibility of collision to occur. So as I already said, purely the performance depends, the performance of the performance directly proportional to number of systems connected. If more number of systems are connected to the LAN network, then performance degrades. There is a high possibility of collision to occur in case of bus topology, right? And that is an important point. Since all the systems depends on the single medium, right? So there is a possibility for failure, right? If the wire goes down, right? If the wire goes down, then the entire network fails, right? So if wire goes down, entire network fails, right? So these are all the major advantages and disadvantages of bus topology, right? So I'll repeat it once again. So all the N systems are connected through a single common medium called wire, right? The wire may be of coaxial or else twisted pair cable. The major application of bus topology is purely LAN network, right? Connecting to a local area network, right? So here and the majorly and here the performance of the bus topology purely depends on number of systems connected. So we'll recommend this bus topology only for the smaller networks, not for the bigger networks. Why? Because as I said in the previous just few minutes before. So this all the N systems are connected to a single wire, and of course we know that there is a performance restriction purely depends on the length, right? So because coaxial cable have restrictions in terms of length, and twisted pair also having restrictions in terms of length. So if you extend for a longer distance, then of course performance of the wire also decreases. So there is a restriction in terms of length of the wire, and there is a restriction in terms of collision also, right? Because if two systems to initiate start transmitting at same point of time, there is a collision because all the systems that are connected using the same medium for communication, right? So this is the biggest disadvantage of bus topology, but majorly used for LAN connections, which is having some lesser number of nodes, lesser number of systems, right? Fine. Next one. Ring topology. As the name dictates, it is a ring topology. it resembles like a ring, right? So every n system here has two PC connections in front and after it, right? So here two ports are connected and each two connections are available before and after the node, right? So every node has two connections, right? So here it is connected with one device, here it is connected with one device, right? Here directions will be of 2 1, right? So here there are two possibilities. One is single ring and a dual ring, right? Purely this single and dual purely depends on the direction of connection, right? So here in single ring, the direction of flow of your data will be like this, right? Only one direction, and finally, for example, if this node wants to communicate with this node, the data has to cross all these nodes to reach this destination, right? So this is what the mechanism, the flow, purely this single ring defines the flow of the direction, right? Data travels from this device to this device, right? So if even though it is closer, for example, if this node wants to transmit to this node, then even though it is closer, it has to follow the direction, right? Data needs to travel through this direction to reach this node, right? And in case of dual ring, right, here data travels in both the directions, right? Both the directions, because it's matter of efficiency. Even though this node is closer to this, this is a source and this is the destination, it has to cross more number of nodes to reach the destination. That's why dual ring is introduced. Dual ring consists of full duplex connection. Full duplex in the sense the links are capable of transmitting in both the directions, right? Here it can be possible to transmit, and it can be both. The link is capable of transmitting in both the directions, right? So that is what dual ring is, right? Here this is what the physical topology, which is arranged like a ring, right? Each node is connected with two end devices, right? And if you take the advantages and disadvantages of this, advantage may be it is easy to configure. Configure is easy, right? Less expensive, not major costs incurred, right? And if you take a disadvantage of this, here in the previous bus topology, the major disadvantage is nothing but the single medium, right? Whereas here two connections are available between. So if you take for example, if in case of a single ring topology, and if one of the node goes down, right? So one of the node goes down, then the entire network goes down, right? Because we cannot able to proceed the connection, right? For example, if in case of your full duplex connection also, dual ring connection also, if one particular link goes down, then we can at least we can communicate with the rest of the nodes. Whereas in this case of single ring, if one connection goes down, then we cannot able to communicate to the rest of the nodes connection, right? For example, in case of a single ring, the data if this link goes down, then we cannot able to communicate with this node, and this node, right? So this is the major problem with a dual ring and also ring topology, right? So here it's not a robust network, right? Here we cannot able to say it is a robust network, because each node is connected with only two devices. The rest of the nodes can be reached only through those links, right? So that is the major disadvantage, or that's a disadvantage in case of ring topology, right? So it is not robust. If one link goes down, rest of the nodes cannot be reached. Right? Here there is no possibility of collisions to occur, because where in the bus topology we have shared one common medium where two number of nodes can able to initiate transmissions at the same time, whereas in this case only two number of nodes are available, right? One node is connected with other node, and in the before and after the node, so possibility of collision is very rare, and data travel in one direction also, so there is no possibility of collision here in case of ring topology, right? These are the advantages and disadvantages of ring topology. Here we have dual rings and single ring. Dual ring is nothing but it's a full duplex connection where data travels in both the directions, whereas in case of single ring, data travel in only one direction. Next one is star topology. Here, in case of a star topology, as the name implies, there is a central controller that exists. We can call this as a hub, right? We can call this as a hub. Central controller that exists that controls all the connected systems in the topology, right? All these are N systems. We have one central controller, which is a physical layer device, and it's not a smart device, right? So it's just performing the control operation of the entire network. And if one data wants to communicate to the other node in the connected hub, then this data will be transmitted to the hub, and the hub will forward it to the respective node, right? After actually it is performing it will perform broadcasting process. Hub will perform broadcasting. Broadcasting in the sense the node will be received, the copy of the data will be received to all the connected systems except the source, right? So it will reach the destination, right? Finally, the data will reach the destination. Rest of the nodes will drop the particular packet, right? So this is what the star topology is. The arrangement of the node will be like this. One central controller will be there, and that will take care of the control process, right? So one node will send a copy of the data to the hub, and data will send a copy to all the connected systems in the network, and finally data will receive. Of course, this is a redundant process because one single copy will be broadcasted to all the connected systems, but the working mechanism of a hub here not necessary. Here switch can also be used, right? Switch is a smarter device than compared to a hub, whereas in case of hub it will perform only broadcasting, whereas switch it will see one particular it will read the packet and it will be forwarded only to the respective destination, right? It is a smarter device, right, compared to a hub. Switch is a smarter device. So either switch can control this process or else hub can also control this process, right? If it is a hub, multiple copies will be generated and it will be broadcasted to all the connected systems, whereas if it is of a switch, only the data will be transmitted only to the respective destination, right? This is what star topology is. So in case of your star topology, there are advantages and there are disadvantages too, right? So if you take the advantages of star topology, here it is easy to configure, data, right? Easy to configure because as much number of ports, right? For example, a hub will have 24 number of ports. A hub may have 48 number of ports. Purely depends on the number of availability of ports. We can able to add as much number of devices, right? So there is no issue at all in terms of scalability. Thus, we just plug in your wire and we can able to communicate to the hub, right? So easy to configure and less expensive. Of course, in this case, the expensive, the cost that includes is the cost of the hub only, right? So if you take cost of the hub as expensive, yes, it is expensive, but it's not that much expensive to say as a disadvantage, right? Less expensive. And if you take if one of the particular node goes down, does it affect all the rest of the nodes? Definitely not, right? So if one particular node goes down, the rest of the nodes still working, right? So it's a fault tolerant. It is a robust, right? It's a robust network and it's a fault tolerant network. Fault tolerant, right? If one particular node goes down, if one particular node is a faulty node, then rest of the network still active, right? So that is the major advantage of star topologies. And if you take the disadvantage, here central dependency, right? This hub, if particular hub goes down, the central dependency, either it is a switch or else a hub, if that particular node goes down, then the entire network goes down, right? So central dependency is the biggest disadvantage of star topologies, right? And here, as I said, number of ports, right? Hub may have 24 number of ports, hub may have 48 number of ports. Purely availability of ports decides how much number of devices. Availability of ports decides how much number of devices I can able to connect. Availability of ports decides n systems, right? This is the major disadvantage, right? If one particular device and if one particular hub may have 24 number of ports, we can able to connect only 24 number of systems. We cannot able to go beyond that, and purely depends on the number of ports available in the, because there are 40 number of ports available in a hub. So purely depends on the central controller, right? So if the more number of ports available, we can able to add more number of systems, right? So these are all the advantages and disadvantages of star topology. And the next one is mesh. Mesh is an interesting topology, right? So here mesh topology, mesh is nothing but if I have 5 n systems, all the 5 n systems have connections to everyone in the rest of the network, right? So right here, if you take 5, there are 5 number of 5 number of n systems available in the network. Every system will have connection to the rest of the 4 nodes, right? If you take this node 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 connections that exist for this node. If you take this one 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, and if you take this one 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you take this one 1, 2, 3, 4, if you take this one 1, 2, 3, 4, all the nodes in the network are connected. Every node in the network will have connection to the rest of the nodes in the network. So this is what the mesh topology is. Here data are shared, right? Here data are shared with all the node connected systems, and here it is completely a robust network, right? So here there is no possibility of for failure to occur. Network will not go down. If one particular node goes down, then rest of the nodes are still connected and still the network is active, right? So this is what a major advantage of mesh network is, and here it is an advantage. If you take the disadvantage, we can say it is a costly one, because more number of wires that are involved here, right? And there are, as I already said, there is a half duplex and full duplex connections, right? Half duplex is communication in one direction, whereas full duplex is communication in both the directions. And if the every link in the mesh network is a half duplex connection, then we need to have 2 connections for communicating in both the directions, right? And if it is a full duplex, yes, it is fine. If it is a half duplex, then every n system will have, for example, in this case, here it is instead of 4 connections. If it is a half duplex, we need to have 8 connections, because 1, 2, here one connection is needed, here another connection is needed, here another connection is needed, here another connection is needed. Let's assume this dotted lines will have a flow of direction in this direction, and this stronger line will have data flowing in this direction, right? If it is of half duplex connection, and if it is a full duplex connection, yes, one line is enough. So if you take n number of nodes, then we need to have how much number of connections? So n minus 1 number of connections for every node, right? If I have 5 nodes in the connection, I need to have 4 full duplex connections to connect with all the rest of the nodes in the network. So n number of nodes in the network, n minus 1 number of connections are needed for every node in the network. And if you take number of ports, so if there is a n number of nodes in the network, then n into n minus 1 divided by 2 number of ports are required for connecting with all the nodes in the network. So here it is too costly to implement, right? And if you want to, in terms of scalability, it doesn't support. So in terms of scalability is a disadvantage. We cannot able to scale, right? In terms of, for example, if I want to add one more node in this node network, so I need to establish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So 5 number of connections needs to be established. So connecting with all the devices are necessary. So if I want to add one node into the network, or else if I want to remove one node from the network, which is practically a difficult process, right? So that is why scalability of your scalability in case of a mesh network is the biggest disadvantage. As I said, it is too costly also, because more number of wires are incorporated in mesh topology, right? So if I have n nodes, I need to have n minus 1 number of connections. In this take, I have included a one extra node, sixth node. I need to have 6 number of connections: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n minus 1 number of connections, and this is number of ports, right? How much number of ports that are required? So if I have 5 number of nodes, so 5 into 4 divided by 2, so which is 20 divided by 2, that is 10 number of ports. Port is nothing but connecting point. Every how much number of ports that are in, that is an incoming port, that is outgoing port. So I need to have 5 number of connections. So for 5 into 2, 10 number of ports are required. So this is the major things that needs to be discussed in case of mesh topology. Mesh has robust network, but the disadvantage is it is too costly, it is expensive, and the scalability of network is very low. I cannot able to add a network. Yes, we can able to, but the process is too difficult to perform, right? So that is what mesh topology is. And the last one is hybrid. Hybrid is very simple. This is for it's a combination of multiple topologies, right? So for example, you can have a bus network, and you have a one single switch, and under the switch we have almost like a star topology, and I have one more department. It is maintained by a switch, and it has for example, I have a wire connected to it, I have a LAN system, and I have a bus topology in this, right? So this is what a hybrid topology is. We can have a hierarchical topology also, where nodes exist under such type of architecture, such type of connections that are possible in case of hybrid topology, right? Hybrid is a connection of it's a collection of different topologies, right? Here the possibility for star topology exists, possibility for bus topologies exist, possibility for hierarchical topologies also exist. We haven't discussed hierarchical topology. It's almost like a tree, right? You can call it as a tree topology. Systems are arranged in terms of hierarchical manner, right? So that is what tree topology is. There is no existence. We'll discuss about in some other point of time, right? This hybrid topology, here this hybrid topology takes advantages of each one, right? Because as I already said, every individual technique will have every individual topology have its own advantages and disadvantages, and hybrid topology takes its advantage of all the possible networks. If you have a bigger organization, we cannot able to adapt one single type of topology for connecting the entire devices in the organization. That's why we go for a combination of multiple topologies to take advantages of each one, right? Where star topology have their own advantages, bus topology have, purely depends on the requirement, right? So that is what a hybrid topology is, right? And final conclusion is, and if you have these much number of topologies, right? So we cannot able to say this one is highly effective and this one is not in use, right? Purely depends on the organizational requirements, right? If your organization is need of a topology like star, then it is a highly disadvantage. If an organization that is in need of a mesh, yes, it is a highly advantage. So there are key elements that needs to consider. Cable length. One is cable length, another one is 1 minute. Sorry, there is a camera recording issue. So cable length and cable cost, cable length, cable cost, and scalability. Cable length, cable cost, it's a cost, right? Cable length, cable cost, scalability, and cable length, cable cost, scalability. And cable type. So these are the four important aspects you want to take when you select what type of topology you are going to adapt for a network, right? So in terms of cable length, because as I already said, no topology is highly advantage and no topology is completely useless, right? So in terms of cable length, right? So if you take, there are only three possible cases in case of cable length. One is coaxial, twisted pair, fiber optics, right? Coaxial cable able to produce high performance, whereas in case of twisted pair, only lesser amount of bandwidth can be achieved, and in case of fiber optics, higher data rate can be achieved, right? It's an unimaginable, so it's a very higher data rate in terms of gigahertz, right? Gigabits per second. So purely depends on the type of cable you are going to use, right? Each is having their own restrictions, right? Twisted pair can able to give performance up to 100 meters, whereas coaxial cable can able to provide a bit higher length compared to twisted pair. And fiber optics, it's made of it's a too expensive cable to be used for LAN network, right? So purely depends on the cable length, right? So if you are going to have a LAN network, then cable type can be used like twisted pair, right? Because which is less expensive compared to coaxial and the fiber optics, right? So purely depends on the requirement, right? And if you take the cable cost, so cable cost, as per the cable cost, coaxial is bit costlier, whereas twisted pair is very less expensive, and fiber optics is too expensive to purchase, right? So purely depends on the need, right? If you are going for in such case, cable length, if you take cable length as a major perspective to go for, then we can go for bus topology, right? Bus topology is the biggest advantage in terms of cable length, right? So where it can able to provide larger distance, right? So which can able to connect to multiple number of end systems also. Whereas cable cost, if you take cable cost, then we need to have connections only to end systems. Then we can go for twisted pair or else coaxial cables for connecting to end systems, right? So that if you take this case, then star topology performs good, and bus topology also performs good. So this is the major two topologies where people are used to connect for end systems, right? And in terms of scalability, which topology is good? So if you take scalability of a network, then star topology plays an important role, right? Scalability can be easily done, purely depends on the number of ports available in the central controller, right? If you have a 64 number of ports in case of a switch, there you can able to connect 64 number of systems, and star topology also it is fine to have, right? Star topology and also bus topology, scalability is easy to perform, right? You can add as much number of systems you want, and purely depends on the length of the performance of the length of the wire, right? So that also needs to consider, right? So scalability, star topology and also bus topology performs good. So star and bus, these two are biggest advantage. If in terms of length, this bus and bus topology is the biggest advantages in case of length. And cable type, so if you take cable type, here mesh topology performs, because this mesh cable type, we can have connections, more number of connections, and also it is robust, right? So you cannot be able to say mesh is an advantage of cable type. Here also star and bus performs good, right? So major topologies that if you take these are all the parameters of your network, then star and bus plays an important role in establishing connections for a network, right? So other topologies like ring and all, so it's absolute. We cannot able to use in network. Whereas mesh cannot be used for an organization where more number of connections are required and it's just too costly to implement. And hybrid depends on the requirement. So as far as right now in market, star and bus are currently in use, and that can be used for these key parameters like cable length, cable cost, scalability, and cable type. Right. So these are all the major advantages of physical topology. These are all the important parameters that needs to be considered. Which topology to choose for any network. Right. Thank you. Next topic we'll discuss in next video. Thank you.